Hi there, you're right on time for another informative half hour of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. In today's show, we look at the early stimulation program and the difference it's made in the lives of parents and their children with special needs. Also, being an influential parent. And on another note, we look at using seeds to make beautiful artistic pieces. Stay tuned for all this and so much more.
This Labor Day, May 23, let's join hands and hearts in harmony to make Jamaica a better place for all of we. Ramp it up. Help build ramps in our schools and health centers to make them more accessible. Fix it up. Clean up, repair, and beautify our schools and health centers. Register your projects now at dis.gov.jm or email laborday@mcges.gov.jm. Call 978-7654 for details. Labor Day 2018. Ramp it up, fix it up. Our schools, our health centers, our responsibility.
Fix it up, you know.
Having a special need only becomes an issue when society fails to provide the things needed to lead one's daily life. So says disability rights activist Judith Human. It is with this in mind that we encourage you to tap into the provisions made by the government if you have a child who needs additional assistance. The Early Stimulation Program is one such initiative.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
The Early Stimulation Program is an intervention assessment catering to the various developmental needs of children with disabilities from birth to 6 years old. The program operates through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security under its Integrated Social Protection and Labour Program.
The Early Stimulation Program is an excellent program, and it provides intervention for children with developmental challenges from 0 to 6 years old, whether physical or mental challenges. It identifies and it intervenes at an early age.
The program is to assist these children who are sometimes left behind, disregarded, stigmatized, to reach their highest potential and to be mainstream, whether into the special education program or the regular education system.
Approximately 30,000 children have been assisted by the Early Stimulation Program, ESP, since its inception in 1975, and over 6,000 of them have been placed in regular primary schools or special education centers. Children in the program have varying types of developmental disabilities and are all ably catered for through intervention strategies employed by specialized professionals.
Our stimulation exercises look at least at 5 developmental domains. They look at the language of the child, the cognitive, the social and emotional, the gross and fine motor adaptive. This helps us to sort of set their program and to take them through the developmental process.
Children who are brought to the Early Stimulation Program are usually referred by the hospitals, infant and basic schools, and by social workers and guidance counselors.
When they are referred, what we do is a developmental assessment to see where they are, and then we put together a program tailored to meet their developmental needs.
The work of the ESP is not limited to the centre. Child development officers are also in the field, working with children at schools, nurseries, and also in communities through home visits.
They receive other assistance through the ministry, the PAD program, for adaptive aids, wheelchairs, eyeglasses. They are part of the PAD program, which gives further assistance. Also through small rehabilitation grants that assist the families of these children to better help themselves.
A number of improvement projects are being implemented, which will provide the students with resources to improve the quality of their learning. Of note is the new $87 million multi-purpose facility built at the ESP location on Hanover Street, downtown Kingston, to replace the building that was there. Funding was provided through the Inter-American Development Bank's Integrated Social Protection and Labor Program.
This modern center represents and provides a new lease on life for children with disabilities whose well-being and welfare will be further enhanced. The ESP currently provides care and support to over 1,500 children with disabilities island-wide, and the services are available to persons from all strata of society.
This is a very significant milestone because it's the only service of its kind that's provided by the government of Jamaica, where children can be provided with assessment and early intervention, and it also helps the children to benefit from the services that will help them to be the best that they can be.
The new facility now boasts an administrative block, assessment clinic, staff room, multi-purpose meeting room, receptionist and waiting area, assessment rooms, sensory and speech therapy room, physiotherapy room, green space and play area.
Children, when you see their faces, then you know that they are satisfied, and it will only help them to fulfill their potential. In terms of the staff, they are elated, they're excited, they're happy, and of course feel appreciated for the work that they have been doing over these years. And so this will only help them to do more and to be more productive.
Once you visit one of these homes, you can feel the genuine love oozing from the people who teach them. They're not called teachers, they're called aunts. And the children have bonded with them in such a positive way.
I don't know how to manage without this place. Just don't know how to manage. The staff at the stimulation program, they let our babies feel like human beings. You know, you feel special, you know. Words can't explain.
My child both feet were twisted, and this program has helped him to get off the twisted foot because he couldn't walk. He's now walking, running, he's all over the place, on his toes. This program has done marvelous for him.
She coming here, she wasn't doing anything but carrying her to the early stimulation. She started creeping, she started holding on, she started getting up off her own. And it made a big difference to me because when I used to have her home, she wasn't doing anything at all but carrying her here and to the physiotherapy. Yes, it's work, so no more crying for me. This stimulation here helps us because we are poor, we can't afford, you know, the other places. So this helps us to know more about our child and also to stimulate our child to get better, and we meet other parents that is suffering the same way that we are feeling, you know, and help us to get over our problems. They take us to seminars, you know, differently from our sessions that we have here at this building. So he has improved a lot. And it's not me alone see it either, don't it, Si?
And though the program has been reaping positive results, there are plans to further expand its offerings.
Early stimulation program reaches approximately 1,500 children. Currently, we have 3 facilities, one on Hanover Street, which is our main facility where we do assessment of our children. We also have another facility on Austin Avenue in Kingston, and that facility is the Early Childhood Center educational facility. We also have a center in Portland that was opened last year, and most recently we just opened another facility in Catherine Hall, Montego Bay. Our facility at Austin Avenue will also benefit from support from the IDB, where we'll be expanding that facility to be able to cater to an additional 40 children. We also have plans in the future, when we're working with our partners, to open a center in St. Anne, and as time goes on, we hope to expand where we have at least one facility in each parish.
The ESP also facilitates the provision of field placements for tertiary level students in the fields of physical therapy, psychology, social work, and early childhood education.
As the ministry continues to serve children with special needs and their families, our aim is to build on the foundation of this assessment center and multipurpose facility and strengthen the pillars of accessibility and range. For in serving our community of persons with different abilities, we can achieve a desired society which is inclusive, participatory, and empowering for all.
I would like to say to parents, don't sit there and wait saying you don't have the money or you can't afford to. It is free. Come in and have your child assessed and begin the intervention program with your children with special needs. The sooner the better. Don't sit and wait.
For further information on the Early Stimulation Program, call 922-5585 or visit their office at 95 Hanover Street in Kingston.
Biomedical is celebrating 50 years of service, and we're thanking you for your support with a free health fair. Come out to the Portmore Heart Academy on Saturday, May 26 for your free blood pressure, sugar, eye, HIV tests, and so much more. We're hosting the entire family, so bring the little ones to our kiddies village and let us show you how much you're appreciated. The Jonathan Grant High School students and faculty will be painting in color for their Spruce Up with Library 2018 Labor Day project. That's May 23, start time 8 a.m. Come out and join them as they create the perfect space to read, learn, and connect, as reading, they say, maketh a full man. The Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica, St. James, and the Sweetwater Blossom Foundation are using music as an intervention in at-risk communities as they host a marching band competition. It's at the Catherine Hall Stadium on May 23 at 4 p.m. Come out and cheer on your community and unwind after your Labor Day projects. The Battle of the Bands, Labor Day. Do you have something to share on our notice board? Contact us at 876-922-8680 or send us an email at rcarty@gis.gov.jm.
The National Stadium is much more than a sporting venue, and this is how the development plans in place will see the structure unfolding. A place rich with history, a place for the family, relaxation, a place to visit, a national site.
It is the venue for national sporting activities and major events. Fondly called the office by local sports fans, the National Stadium is earmarked for major redevelopment under the Jamaica 55 Legacy Projects Initiative. The objective of the Jamaica 55 National Stadium redevelopment is to provide Jamaica with a first-class modern sport venue. When the project is completed, it is expected that the National Stadium will host mega events such as the IAAF Diamond League meets and FIFA CONCACAF tournaments, as well as concert tours, conventions, and mass meetings that are usually held at world-class stadia across the globe.
The minister has announced what we call a bidding team, led by the Honorable Mike Fennell, and we're going to put the people with the expertise on it. So we can go there and go after in an aggressive way and in a very meaningful way these international games.
Before the country can host those international events, a few shortcomings need to be addressed, like limited seating of only 31,000 and partial covering of the grandstand area.
Right now, we fail most of the tests that our international sporting bodies put on what is required in our infrastructure to stage major international sport.
The stadium also needs improved security, emergency exits, dedicated access for VIPs, players and officials, and better medical facilities, media broadcast booths and concession stands. Also, a purpose-built secure doping testing area for athletes.
In what they call an athlete exclusion zone. Right now, what we have is a makeshift arrangement, which Ward has said, yes, it's not too bad, but it's not ideally where it ought to be.
The redevelopment of the National Stadium contains 9 major changes to the office. The bleachers section, located east of the grandstand, is to be demolished and replaced with a modern all-seater stand extending to trackside. The upper north and south bleacher will be upgraded with a modern all-seater stand, complete with concessions, public toilets, security and first aid stations. A new trackside service area and energy-efficient lighting are also in the plans. A state-of-the-art wireless communication system will be installed, and the grandstand will be upgraded to include a better VIP area, additional concessions, toilets, and trackside seating.
If we're going to be serious and treat sports not just as recreation, but look at the business of sports and what it can do for us in terms of national development, real economic returns from sports, we have to have the right infrastructure.
So added to the plans is a first-rate venue operating center, proper gate management, security staging areas, first aid centers, maintenance facility, and a sport equipment and operational storage area. Leading into the stadium itself,
we are improving on what we call Statue Square, which is right in front of the National Stadium. When they come there, to be able to buy miniature statues of the Usain statue. You must have an ice cream kiosk that people can come on a Sunday afternoon, buy ice cream and 2 hamburgers, and then take the picture and go home. And people go to the stadium not just to watch a football match or to watch a netball match, but it now becomes a social area, the center of entertainment and sporting activities in Kingston. We now have a development plan. The price tag on it is $45 million to get it done.
The redevelopment work is being conducted in 4 phases and should be completed by the year 2022. So, just as our athletes have achieved global fame, if government has its way, the place where many began their journey to stardom will also become world-renowned.
So it becomes a modern stadium, and that's our aim, that's our vision, that is going to be achieved.
It's Saturday, but today we're substituting our soup for pizza. What's your favorite part? Mine is the cornichone. The what? Yep, I heard that. What in the name of pepperoni, Hawaiian, thin crust vegetarian pizza am I saying to you? Well, in Italy, a country with a rich pizza history, only the bottom part of the pizza is called a crust. The outer part of the crust, however, is referred to as the cornichone. The cornichone crunchy on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside.
Anonymously report allegations of corruption, bribery, fraud, or acts of malfeasance. Help the Revenue Protection Division, RPD, secure the government's revenue. To help, citizens may call the Revenue Protection Division at 1-888-225-5773 or Crime Stop at 311. The RPD, partnering with you, securing the public purse for growth and development.
Who will he be? Will he be brave? I hope him not grow up and mix up, you know. Will she be confident? I just want her to be bold, influential. I want her to be smart. This is the wish that many parents have for their children. But sometimes the parent-child relationship is a little rocky and getting through to the little ones proves challenging. The National Parenting Commission is on board with your vision and have shared some tips you can use to build your relationships.
Do I want my children to be assertive? As the old adage says, the family represents the primary source of socialization. Do I want to reinforce hard work? Do I want to reinforce generosity? How do I do that? It is through effective parenting that positive values, attitudes, perceptions, and habits are developed. Do I want my children to be independent?
take back the reins, and you become the #1 influence in your child's life.
And the truth is that if parents don't accept this responsibility, then the void may be filled and will be filled by negative forces in our culture that do not support healthy morals and ethics for our families.
And that is why we're encouraging parents to be that influence, to not allow society to dictate who your child is going to be. We believe that parents ought to encourage dreams. There's nothing that's too far-fetched. We have to understand that present circumstances too do not dictate your future. So the fact that you are in a particular circumstance as a parent and you might feel downtrodden or heartbroken, it does not mean that that is where you have to remain. And it certainly does not mean that that is where your child has to remain. So there's no dream that's ever achieved without a plan. And after you chart the plan of action, you're going to help your child to keep fixed. Remember, this is what you had said you wanted to do. Remember, this is something you said you wanted to achieve. So you're going to keep the child fixed because that's what it means to be the influence. You don't want to impose your own ambitions on children. That's not something that works. Especially as teenagers, they're going to resist and they're going to rebel. And before you know it, you're at odds with your child because the direction in which you think your child ought to go is not what he thinks. It takes a conversation. Of course, you're going to motivate because everybody needs motivation from time to time, and especially children. They need to know that along the path, whether the knocks come, and it doesn't matter how frequently those knocks come, you're there to help them to get up and to stay the course. And you're going to also along the way give praise. Acknowledge the steps that they've taken along the way. Acknowledge that they have achieved.
The first one, honesty. Parents need to help children to find a way to tell the truth. And the best way to encourage truthfulness in your child is to be a truthful person yourself. The second one is justice. Insist that children make amends. You hurt someone's feelings, you hear your child saying something that's wrong, call them on it right away and let them know that even though you apologize, sometimes it's very difficult to take back what you're saying. The third value, determination. Encourage them to take on challenges. The fourth value, consideration. Teaching them to think about others, the feelings of others. And the last one, and it's my #1 element of effective parenting, love. Teaching your children the value of love.
The Be the Influence campaign, which starts with Parent Month, is intended to target parents to adhere to one of the the 3 components of effective parenting. The Be the Influence actually will continue because we intend to have a 3-year campaign with the 3 components being get involved, be the example, and encourage dreams.
Be the Influence will support the NPSC's flagship initiative, the Parent Mentor Program.
The mentorship program, I intend to extend to have it across the country because I believe it's such a strong program. Here it is, parents are tooled and they get an opportunity to now help to improve the practices in parenting as they see them exhibited in their own communities, because the parents who become mentors are from the community. And so they go through 13 weeks of training in 10 modules in effective parenting.
There are currently 82 mentors and another 30 will graduate shortly.
While parents may not have the control they desire, they rarely lose the power to influence the lives of their children.
Take back the reins and you become the #1 influence in your child's life.
Protect Jamaica, plant your grass. Help us become more resilient to climate change impacts. Protect Jamaica, plant a tree. It improves the island's national biodiversity. Trees may be fruit
ornamental or timber, but must be native or suitable to the area's natural landscape. Join the Jamaica Million Tree Campaign and help to plant 1 million trees by June 30, 2019. This is a call to action by the National Environment and Planning Agency.
We've looked at children, parenting, national development. It's been more than an earful and a lot to think on. While you do, here's something a little lighter and smaller. Let's zone in on the creative industry.
Droplets of beads, creatively designed metals, painted wood, all handcrafted to adorn the neck, face, or limbs. Made from natural resources found on the island, local costume jewelers are designing a niche for economic empowerment.
Natural handbands. These are like from lucky seeds and RSI, and these bracelet is from copper with seed mixed in. And we have bamboo handband. We have leather handband over here, and we have wallets, sandals, and pipes and chalices. Natural, all handmade right here in Jamaica. I'm doing this business for over 40 years now. I've traveled all over the world, and this is the business that I do. This is my living, and I'm very proud of it. I was working at the post office for 18 years, but in the 18 years at the post office, I learned this trade. I'm self-taught. That's what I love about this. I think about a creative piece, and I manifest it with my hands. And that's what I love about it, manifesting what I think.
So we have two lines here. We have one called the Heavenlies, and then we also have another line that's completely made out of paper, crafted from scratch, hand-painted by a fine artist and varnished. And that one is called Inspired by Nature. And if you look at it, you'll see things that remind you of sunsets or hillsides and mountainous reliefs and fruits and flowers. We have some freshwater pearls, we have shells, we have upcycled, I would say, materials that we used to make the earrings, so paper. So, and we do a lot of seeds and shells. I work a lot with shells. So those sorts of things.
I'm telling you this, we don't know how rich we are. We're a very rich country. I'd love if we could concentrate on developing our skills and using our local product and advance. We are so rich that it's confusing sometimes to see what we're doing, so much stupid things. Killing each other, robbing each other. We don't have to do that. We have everything here. So we need to just concentrate and focus and be positive and use the things that we have, because we have a lot.
Just be more mindful of what you're doing every day and what you're using every day, you know. Paper instead of plastic, that's kind of, you know, the stereotypical answer, but really thinking about where you're buying your products. Are you buying things that are locally made? Are you buying things that are imported more than the locally made?
Our time here is up, but let me keep the link. Join us on social media pages and the Android and iOS app, where we can continue the conversation. Until we meet here again, on behalf of the entire JIS team, I'm Theodore Henry. You take care and see you later.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.